Okay. So Data Factory is nothing but a cloud-based ETL tool, which is basically responsible for data movement and transforming data at scale. When I say data movement, so there might be a scenario like when we have to move the data from our source system to the target system. So in order to do that, we have to do many steps like validating the schema, validating the data. We have to check the data, like whether the data is in correct format or not, and so on and so forth. Okay. So yeah, that is all about the data factory. Now going ahead, we have to understand that what are the concepts behind the data factory stuff. Like what are the things which basically uh, creates a data factory as a whole. So there are many attributes out there like pipeline, activity, data sets, link services, and triggers. We'll get we'll go through all these concepts one by one, and we'll understand that what each terminology denotes. Okay. So pipeline. What is pipeline? Pipeline is basically a group of logical activities that is built to perform a kind of work. Okay. Suppose we have a kind of data, multiple data in the source systems. Like we have a multiple CSVs. Now we have to do some kind of copy activity, and later on we have to execute some kind of a transformations on top of that. So what will be our approach in that case? So we'll go ahead with the activities. There are multiple activities out there which we will be seeing later on in our practical session. So that we have to build, and later on that activity together constitute a pipeline. Okay. So now the next one is activity. So what is activity? So activities basically represent a processing step in a pipeline. So similarly, I have said you a few moments ago, like whenever a scenario appears, like when we have to copy a data from a source system to a target system. So in that case, we would need activity in order to do that. Later on, link services and datasets. So link services are much like of a connection string. Like whenever we are trying to connect with some source system. Suppose let's take an example of Oracle. So in Oracle, we basically provide the username password along with service name or SID, yeah, in order to do that, and also host name as well. Similarly, for SQL, we have to provide the server name as well as the database name. So yeah, link service is kind of a more kind of a that, and the data set is like that represents a data. Basically, it is a pointer which is pointing towards some specific data. I'll be showing you all of these things later on. Okay, so that triggers. So as this from the name itself, you get to know like triggers nothing but an action which basically executed in order to run a pipeline. Okay, so there are multiple type of different triggers which we will be showing up in the later stage. But yeah, let's go into the practical stuff. Okay, so yeah. So did you guys attended the Azure basic fundamental training?
Yes.
Okay, did you get an idea like how basically a cloud service works? How do we work in the cloud? Any idea? Okay. So what I will be doing going forward, I'm creating a resource group for this training purpose only. Okay, and I'll add you all of you guys into this resource group so that you can also practice into the same stuff. Okay. So P is training. Okay. Okay. I guess it is already there. Let's go into that. Yeah. So what I will do, I'll delete this one. and I'll create it from the scratch, like how we can go ahead with this stuff. Let's create another group, like FPL. Is it training? Region wise, I'll select UK South. Yeah, and I'll simply create it. So my resource group has been created. Now, resource group is nothing but a collection of Azure services on which we basically work. Okay. Now, inside that, what I will create, I'll create a data factory. So you can see like it is automatically taking the resource group. In order to create any resources out there, we have to select some resource group. And if that resource group doesn't exist, then you can create it from here also. Okay. So region wise, it is already selected. What I will do, Azure training edf. Yeah. Now this is a Git configuration. We can discuss about it later on. I just don't want to make you guys confused. Let it make simple as much as we can. So test validating. You can see the validation got passed, and we are creating the data factory. Similarly, we have to create one more thing, which is a storage account. Mm, Storage. Training. Okay. I'm making it all from the same location because whenever we are doing the movement of the data, it will basically allow us to move faster manner since all these things are belongs to the same location. Otherwise, if we will create for the different location, then we might face some kind of latency issue, but not that much. But it is good practice to basically create the resources from the same location always. Okay. So let's select the UK South and go to the advanced networking. Okay. Yeah. So it is basically doing the validation. Now I'll click on the create button and this is done with the creation of storage account. Okay. So as you can
Roshan,
see, like, yeah.
yeah, Roshan, just a question. So this will like there are different storage accounts, right? In Azure.
Mm-hmm.
So for this ADF, so like which type of storage account, as in it will be basically a blob, or like how it is, like which kind of storage
So
account will be used?
so when I say storage account, there is a blob container, there is a data lake, there is a delta lake. Okay. So ADF supports any type of storage. Okay, any type of storage. So
So any
that is
type of
basically
storage will be can be used. irrespective
Yes,
of
yes,
its like the characteristic what each storage has.
yes, correct. Means based on its type, irrespective of its type, it basically supports all type of connectors. I'll show you means going forward that how we can do that. Okay. So this
Okay.
is all about. But regarding the storage concepts, I guess I have to take one new session for this in order to make you guys understand. Like there are different kind of storage out there in the Azure cloud. Okay. So for this session, we are taking this storage account, a simple storage account, to see that how basically we do the activity using the source systems and the on target systems. And also means going forward, I'll show you guys with the using SQL as well, or if time permits, then we can also see using the Oracle stuff. I guess we have a Oracle server, so later on, once we are good with the basic stuff, we can see also from using the Oracle that how we are fetching the tables from the Oracle systems and storing it to the cloud. Okay, so for the time being, let's just accept like we are going ahead with the storage account. Okay, now we have created the PDF and also the storage account. Now once we have come with the ADF part, on the ADF part, you can see like there are multiple attributes are there, like pipeline, datasets, data flows, okay. So we'll understand like what each of these denotes. So in order to create a pipeline, we have to click on this triple dots. Okay, you can see like new pipeline options is there. Uh, I can give a name like first pipeline, and inside pipeline, what I have said in our slide, like a pipeline is a logical grouping of activities that perform a unit of work. Okay, so I have created my pipeline, but inside that is no activity out there. Okay, so what I can do, I can call the activity, which is suppose set variable. Okay, now set variable is nothing like defining a variable. We can create a variable out there in this bottom section. You can click on it. You can click on the new button. You can define the name of the variable. Okay, and you can select the type of the variable, like what basically the type of this variable we need. Okay, and we can give any value like 10. Okay, now this is a pipeline. Okay, this is activity. This is pipeline. Activity is a part of pipeline. Okay, now you can see here that publish all button is enabled. So why it is coming up? Because it is more kind of a saving of stuff. So whenever we are doing any changes to our pipeline, okay, we have to publish. Otherwise, if I'll simply refresh it, you can see everything is gone out. No pipeline is there. Okay, but if I'll create a pipeline and publish it like set, so these basically the in the down one, when I click on the white screen, the down one, the attributes which are coming up, it applies to the whole activities inside this pipeline. Okay, this is applicable to the whole activities out there. This is part of this pipeline actually. Okay, so if I'll select it and give a value, assign a value. Now, okay, now suppose what value this is, anything we can give as of now. Okay, if I'll publish it. Okay, so you can see after refreshing it, the thing are still remain the same. Okay, and uh, yeah, this is all about the pipeline, and this is the activity. Now going ahead, okay, let me give it a name first. Pipeline. Okay. So whenever you guys are working on the data factory, always remember to publish all after you are done with this stuff. Otherwise, the changes will get removed. Okay. So this is the first pipeline. Now, going forward, I'll explain you the concept of link services. Activity you understood, like this is just activity. Here we have used a set variable. Similarly, there are multiple activities like of copy. Okay, here in copy, what we basically do, we provide the source system name, we provide the target dataset name, kind of which kind of dataset, whether it is a CSV, SQL, Oracle, or anything like that. Okay, similarly, if you want, you can explore it here in general part. We can append something, we can execute some different another pipeline, we can also execute the SSIS package. So based on the scenario, we will use this. Okay, so for today's session, what I have done, I've decided to go through all these basic things. From tomorrow onwards, we'll pick up some scenario based thing, so that you will get the idea, like in real world, how do we basically work. Okay, so activity understood. So what is link services and data sets? Okay, now what I will do, I'll go inside this storage account. I'll click on this blob container. So if you can see, there's a container. Okay, inside container, I'm creating one new one. Like this can be input. Okay, and inside input, I'll upload some of the data files which I have prepared. Okay, mm, first transitions. Yeah. So these two are the CSV files which I have uploaded. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll create the connection. So in order to create a connection, how can we go ahead? So when I will expand the data set, you can see no attributes are showing up. Okay, so I have to click on the three dots. I have to click on the new data set. So what kind of storage is there? Okay, so just a few moments ago, you asked like how basically ADF is interacting with different systems, right? So here you can see all those things are there. Okay, all those things. So whether it is Azure one, whether it is a database like of SQL, Google AdWords, Google BigQuery, okay, Oracle Access, even SQL. If I'll search here, so SQL will come up, MySQL will come up, Cosmos DB is there. So likewise, we can create a connector here. But right now, as a part of this training session, we are using the storage account. So I'll click on the blob storage, Azure blob storage. I'll select the type of data which I'm holding up. So it is nothing but a CSV. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll give the name of the data set, and it will ask me a link services. So just few moments ago, I have discussed like link services is nothing but a kind of a connection string. Okay. So as of now, there is no link services. So how can we create a new one? So click on the new. Okay. Uh, I'll create a new link services. So it is good to give this notation so as to understand like what of this naming, what is this resources denotes for. If it is a link services, then I can give a ls. If it is a dataset, I can give a ds. So it is a kind of good practices which we can remember. Okay, you can see this is connecting via Azure integration runtime. Okay, so I will discuss this about the integration runtime going ahead, but for the time just understand that this is basically attribute via which we are connecting to the this storage account. Okay, authentication method, so we are using account key. Now subscription, it is automatically getting populated. Storage account name, so what is the name of storage account? So it is a FP training essay. So if I'll search it here, FP training essay, it will comes up. Okay, now I guess we have filled each and everything. So before creating the link services, we have to do the test connection. Yeah, the connection got successful. I'll create a link service, and the same link services are consumed here. Okay. Now, what I will do, I'll select one of the CSV, which is employee, and whenever I'm going ahead with the CSV or Excel file, so this data set doesn't automatically read the header part. So we have to explicitly select this option in order to go ahead with that particular data set. Okay. So I'll click OK. So this creates a data set in my data factory. Okay. Now I'll publish it. So what we have done so far, we have created a dummy pipeline in which we are using no dataset, no target one, no source one, nothing. We just discuss about the activity in pipeline. Now we discuss about the dataset, how we are creating the dataset. In order to create a dataset, we have to get a link services which basically connects to that particular system. In our case, it is a storage account. Okay, and also behind the link services, we have one more attribute which is nothing but an integration runtime. Okay, so I'll discuss about this integration runtime. So what we can do, what can you basically understood from this thing? Like dataset is nothing but a pointer one which is pointing to a dataset. Okay, any source system, any target system, and link service is nothing but kind of you can say a connection string. Okay, so yeah.